I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Hey everyone. You ever get that feeling? You're out and about here in the DFW and suddenly the sky just looks different.
Oh, yeah.
Like a weird, almost greenish light, and you just know, right? Like something's brewing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that heavy feeling in the air. It's like the calm before the storm, literally.
Totally. And, we're no strangers to severe thunderstorms here in North Texas. They're pretty much a regular part of life, especially this time of year.
You said it's spring and early summer. That's when things really start to get interesting around here, weather-wise.
For sure. So today we're doing a deep dive into something super important for everyone living in the DFW, severe thunderstorm watches and warnings.
Because let's face it, knowing the difference between those two can literally be life-saving.
Exactly. We've been digging into a bunch of information from the NWS and other local sources, all focused on severe thunderstorms, watches, and warnings, specifically in our area, the DFW.
Right, because we want to give you guys the most relevant and up-to-date info possible.
So, our mission today is simple. We're going to break down those crucial differences between a watch and a warning, equip you with the knowledge to stay safe, and maybe even a little bit ahead of the game when those storms roll in.
Sounds good to me. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to the weather.
Okay, so let's just jump right into it. What is the core difference? When the weather folks say watch versus warning, what should be going through our minds?
Well, think of it this way. A watch means conditions are ripe for severe thunderstorms to develop. But it doesn't necessarily mean they're happening right now.
Okay, so it's like a heads up, like, hey, things could get dicey later, so keep an eye on the sky.
Exactly. It's like the Weather Service saying, we've got all the ingredients here for some nasty storms. Be prepared.
Got it. So it's all about potential, not necessarily an immediate threat, right?
Right. A watch is really a call to action to stay informed, monitor the forecasts, and dust off that severe weather safety plan.
Okay, so watch equals be ready, be informed. Now what about a warning? That sounds a bit more urgent.
Absolutely. A warning means a severe thunderstorm is happening or is about to happen, like right now in a specific location.
Oh, wow. So that's a take cover immediately kind of situation.
Exactly. It's time to seek shelter. No messing around.
Okay, so watch equals potential, warning equals imminent danger. Got it.
You got it. And remember, warnings are very specific. They'll usually tell you the expected hazards, like hail size, wind gusts, even possible tornadoes. And they only apply to a small area for a limited time.
That makes sense. So it's really targeted information telling you what to expect and where.
Exactly. The NWS does a great job of providing those hyper-local details.
Okay, so we've got watches and warnings. Now, you mentioned earlier that DFW is kind of a hot spot for these severe thunderstorms. What makes this area so prone to them?
Well, we're kind of in a unique spot geographically, right on the edge of the Great Plains, where warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico collides with cooler, drier air from the west.
Oh, right, like a clash of the titans, and we're caught in the middle.
Uh-huh. Yeah, kind of. And that clash creates a lot of instability in the atmosphere, which is basically the fuel for thunderstorms.
Interesting. So it's that mix of air masses that gets things brewing, right?
Exactly. And then you throw in things like temperature inversions, where warmer air sits on top of cooler air near the ground, trapping all that energy.
Ah, so it's like shaking up a soda bottle. Eventually, all that pressure has to go somewhere.
That's a great analogy. And then there's the dry line, which is another key player in our severe weather drama.
The dry line, yeah, I hear that term a lot, but I'm not really sure I understand it. Can you break it down for us?
Sure. Basically, it's a boundary between dry air from the west and moist air from the Gulf.
Okay, like an invisible line in the sky.
Yeah, and when that dry line moves eastward across North Texas, it forces the warm, moist air to rise rapidly, which triggers those powerful thunderstorms.
So the dry line acts like a trigger, kind of sets everything in motion.
Exactly, and sometimes that trigger can be pulled very suddenly, which is why those storms can pop up seemingly out of nowhere.
Makes sense. So we've got the clashing air masses, the temperature inversions, the dry line. It's like a recipe for some wild weather.
It really is. And the NWS knows this, which is why they have such a sophisticated system for monitoring and predicting these storms.
Right, because forecasting these things accurately is critical. So what tools do they have in their arsenal? How do they track those storms?
Well, first and foremost, they rely on Doppler radar, which is like their eyes in the sky. You can see inside those storm clouds, pinpoint the location, intensity, and movement of rain, hail, even tornadoes.
Wow. So it's like a super-powered weather X-ray.
In a way, yes. And they also use satellite imagery, which gives them a broader view of cloud patterns and atmospheric conditions.
So those swirling, colorful images we see on the news, that's satellite imagery, right?
Exactly. It helps them see the big picture.
And I know they also launch weather balloons. What do those do?
Those balloons carry instruments that measure temperature, humidity, wind speed, all that good stuff at different altitudes.
So they're gathering real-time data from the atmosphere. That's pretty cool.
It is. And that data feeds into those complex computer models that help them predict how the weather will evolve.
So it's like a constant feedback loop, gathering data, feeding it into the models, refining the forecasts. Right?
Precisely. And then you've got the human element, the trained weather spotters on the ground who provide real-time observations.
Oh, right. The folks who are out there in the thick of it, seeing things firsthand.
Exactly. They're like the boots on the ground for the NWS, confirming what the radar is showing, and sometimes even spotting things the radar might miss, like a small tornado.
Wow. So it's really a team effort, technology and trained observers working together.
It is, and it's incredibly important for keeping people safe.
Absolutely. So we've got a pretty good handle on how these storms form and how they're tracked. Now let's talk about the potential hazards. What are we dealing with here in the DFW?
Well, large hail is a major one.
Yeah,
and I mean,
right.
large, we're talking grapefruit size, sometimes even bigger. And that can do serious damage to cars, roofs, you name it.
Ouch. Yeah, hail is no joke. I've seen cars with their windshields completely shattered.
It's not pretty. And then there are the damaging winds, straight line winds, that can exceed 58 miles per hour.
Wow, that's strong enough to knock down trees and power lines, right?
Absolutely. And those winds can cause structural damage to buildings, too. They're not messing around.
Definitely not. And of course, we can't forget about flooding, especially in urban areas.
Right. Heavy rain can overwhelm drainage systems, leading to flash flooding, which can be very dangerous, especially for drivers.
Yeah, turn around, don't drown. That's the saying, right?
Exactly. Never try to drive through floodwaters. You never know how deep they are or what's underneath.
Solid advice. And then there's the possibility of tornadoes, though maybe not as frequent as hail or wind.
True, tornadoes are less common in our immediate area, but they are a significant threat, especially during the spring months.
Right, so we need to be prepared for all of these hazards. They all pose a serious risk.
Absolutely, and these storms can have a huge impact on our lives here in the DFW beyond just the immediate danger.
Right, like the disruption to our daily routines, power outages, flooded roads, all that.
Exactly. Severe thunderstorms can really bring things to a standstill. And the economic impact could be significant too. Think about business closures, property damage, the strain on emergency services.
It's definitely something we need to take seriously. So, knowing all this, what can we as residents do to stay safe? How can we be prepared?
Well, first and foremost, stay informed, monitor the forecasts, sign up for weather alerts on your phone, have a NOAA weather radio handy.
So multiple ways to get those warnings. Don't just rely on one source.
Right, because you never know when one might fail. And have a plan, a severe weather safety plan.
Okay, a plan. What does that entail?
Well, identify safe places in your home, a basement, an interior room on the lowest floor, away from windows, and stock up on emergency supplies, water, food, flashlights, batteries, a first aid kit.
So basically be ready to hunker down if a warning is issued?
Exactly. And know what to do if you're caught outside. Seek shelter in a sturdy building immediately. Don't try to outrun the storm.
And what about driving? Any advice there?
Avoid driving, if at all possible, especially during heavy rain or hail. But if you're already on the road and a storm hits, pull over to a safe location, away from trees and power lines, and wait it out.
Got it. Safety first, always. And earlier you mentioned that there might be some subtle weather differences within the DFW area, like Dallas versus Fort Worth. Is that really a thing?
You know, it is. While the overall threat of severe weather is pretty much the same across the region, there can be localized variations.
Interesting. So it's not always a uniform experience, even within the DFW.
Right. Things like microclimates, urban heat islands, even slight differences in topography can influence how storms develop and where they hit hardest.
So it's almost like every little pocket of the DFW has its own unique weather personality.
Kind of, yeah. And it's something to keep in mind when you're tracking those storms.
For sure. So bringing it all back to those NWS warnings, why are they so crucial for our safety?
Well, they provide that critical lead time, those precious minutes that allow people to take action, seek shelter, get to a safe place.
Right, because sometimes minutes can make all the difference.
Absolutely. Those warnings can literally save lives by giving people the information they need to make smart decisions.
So understanding the difference between a watch and a warning, staying informed, having a plan, it all comes down to being proactive, right?
You got it. And honestly, that proactive approach is really the key to staying safe and weathering those storms here in the DFW.
Well said. So here's the final thought for everyone listening. We've talked a lot about the difference between a watch and a warning, but what else can you do to be prepared for those severe thunderstorms? What steps can you take today to make sure you're ready for whatever Mother Nature throws our way? Think about it and stay safe out there, DFW.
Stay safe, everyone.
And that's our deep dive for today.
See you next time.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.